Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cobra Kai Studios for one of my, as I always say, favorite videos to make, the fan question videos, where we just talk about discussions about questions that you and myself are curious to know answers to. We're going to start this video off by first talking about a question that I've actually been curious about before Cobra Kai really became a thing that I really wanted to do videos on. So this is kind of a question I've had before I started my channel, basically to say, before I even thought about starting my channel, which is, what do you think Mr. Miyagi's secret might be? One of the comments was, do you think that he might have taught someone else before Daniel, aka possibly taught Julie's father, and just never said anything about it and lied when he said he only taught Daniel and Daniel wasn't actually his first student? That one's an interesting question to think about, and I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that's the secret that Miyagi was hiding. I feel like this secret is actually possibly that he has, I don't know, there's so much that his secret could be that it's kind of hard one to really get into, but I mean, I guess it could be, it's possible he's taught other people besides just Daniel. I've always kind of thought that even back with the Karate Kid movies, that Daniel wasn't his exact first student. And if that's the case, who might have been his first student? Hell, for all we know, he might have even taught Kreese. Well, not Kreese, Silvers. I mean, who knows? Don't quote me on that, because obviously that's most likely inaccurate and incorrect. But I'm just saying, there's no real tellings on that one. And it's a very interesting topic, because there's a lot that we could speculate as fans as to who he might actually have taught besides just Daniel, if that is the case. Again, I don't know that that's the case. It's just something that was really interesting to think about. The same person also brought up again the fact that a lot of people were pretty sure that Tori's related to someone in the show, possibly Allie, possibly someone else. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that debate because they're pretty dead set on it being, her last name's Nicole, she wasn't adopted by anybody. I don't know. I'm still on the fence on that one. I don't really know where to go on that one, because there's more proof to prove that it was Nichols, obviously. But there's also the whole thought, if you look, when Johnny mentions Nichols, a couple of the casts in the show don't look at Tori when that name is called out. Why? I don't know. Doesn't mean for sure that her name isn't Tori Nichols. It's just, if you it's like a really, really short, like, you have to really slow the video down and look. When Johnny says Nichols, there's a few of the cast members, like Stingray, and I can't remember who the other one is, but they don't look at Tori when that name is called out. So what if it isn't Nichols? Interesting thing to think about. Another thing that, speaking of Tori, did you think that Tori broke into the high school, or broke into the high school, and she'll be charged with trespassing and using a deadly weapon in the school fight? No, I don't. I don't think that that'll be a case. I honestly feel like they're going to be more towards the whole Robbie and Miguel thing, because of what happened to Miguel. I feel like that's going to be the center of attention when we pick back up in Season 3. I just feel like that's going to be the main thing that they want to focus on. I don't think that they're going to take too much time to worry about Tori. But they might. I mean, I guess we can't say no and then assume that that's going to be exactly how it plays out, because we just never know. So what do you think? Do you feel like they might try to charge Tori with a deadly weapon, with the spike thing that she tried to use to hit Sam right before Sam kicked her ass? I don't know. It's an interesting. I love these questions because it makes you think. Some of them, yeah, we might not be able to answer, but at the same time, it's still fun to just communicate with you all and kind of share my input on what I feel like, which also gives you the option to share your feedback back in the comments, or if we premiere this as a premiere, then in the live chat premiere. It's very interesting to communicate with you all and kind of hear everybody's feedback to what you think the answer to these questions might actually be. Another thing is that people were reading that Season 3, Episode 1, that it's going to be I don't know. It's kind of hard to debate on this one. Where do you think it's going to take off? I feel like there's going to be a pretty big time jump, like the actor that plays Johnny, William, he had already kind of slipped up that it's going to be a time jump. How big of a time jump do you think we're actually going to see moving forward into season 3? Me personally, I feel like there's going to be at least a month of time jump. I don't know why, but I feel like it's going to take off with a month from where season 2 left off, maybe even 2 months. But at the same time, if they do that, there's going to be a lot of unanswered questions. Like, for one, where did Johnny go? What happened to Johnny? You know, it's where did Johnny lose his apartment? Did he just give up on his apartment? Do you feel like Johnny's gonna have to find somewhere else new to live? I feel like with how things ended with Miguel and Carmen obviously living right there by him, I feel like, yeah, he's gonna have somewhere else that he's gonna live. In season 3, I feel like he's not gonna live in that same apartment. I don't know why I feel like that, but I just feel like that's something that we're not gonna see right away, if at all, again. But maybe he is. Maybe he just kind of keeps the apartment, but takes a break from everybody and travels somewhere. Leading to another question, do you believe that Johnny and Daniel might go to Okinawa together? I would say that they're not going to go together as in fly in the same plane, but that's not to say that Johnny wouldn't go to Okinawa. I just don't know why he would. Because obviously, Daniel has ties to Okinawa thanks to Mr. Miyagi and such, that I just don't know that Johnny would have any purpose or reason to go to Okinawa. Not to say that they won't, but I don't think that's something we're going to see. At least not in season 3. What do you think? Do you feel like Johnny has any reason to even go to Okinawa? Personally, if you do a study online, there's really nothing that would even pinpoint to him going to Okinawa, so I don't think we're going to see that at all. But you never know. Another question that's interesting that really puzzles me is, do you think that Mr. Miyagi might have trained Daniel or had anything to, or Daniel, trained Johnny or had anything to do with Johnny after Daniel got married and kind of did his own thing? I'm going to say no. I don't think that would be a possibility. Not to say that it ain't, but I just don't think Mr. Miyagi would have done that. I feel like Daniel was his last student that he trained, and I don't think he moved on to training anybody else after that. Not to say he didn't, but if he did, I don't think it plays any role to anything they're trying to portray in the show right now. So that's going to be my thought on that, is that no, I don't think he did, but it could have happened. You never know. A very debatable question nonetheless. Do you think that there will be a rematch between Robbie and Miguel, whether it be in the All Valley Karate Tournament, on the street somewhere, at a party? Yes, I think there's going to be a rematch between Robbie and Miguel at some point. I don't know that we'll see that in Season 3 at all, or at least not till the end of Season 3, only because we don't even fully know the exact extent to Miguel's injuries. Obviously, he's injured badly, but they didn't really clarify what all is wrong with him. So until we figure out what that is, then we can't really make any assumptions to when Miguel is going to be able to actually fight again. I feel like he's going to have to relearn some things. I think that's something that they're going to bring into the show that we're going to have to actually see him learn how to do, regroup, recuperate, get back to a healthy standard and be able to do anything. I really don't think they're going to have him paralyzed. I'm pretty sure that's not something they would want to do. And if they do, then I guess that leaves up to who's going to help him and try to heal him surgically wise, which a lot of people speculate that Allie might be the surgeon to help him heal. I don't know. Maybe, but if that's the case, then who's going to reach out to Allie to make that happen? I feel like if that happens, it would have to be either Johnny or Daniel to reach out to her to actually have that take place. Will we see that? I'm going to say no. I feel like they're going to do something different about that. Another question that leads is who's going to pay Miguel's hospital bill, or how's that going to go about? If he doesn't have insurance and there is a hefty bill, I personally think that Daniel will pay or cover the bill. I don't know why, I just feel like that's something we can expect to see. Maybe not. They might not even mention anything about a hospital bill or nothing. That might just not be something they feel needs to be spoken about. We might not see that at all. We might just see he gets better and that'll be the end of it. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think they're going to do about Miguel being injured and the whole hospital thing? How do you think that's going to play out? Also leading up to a question, do you think Miguel's dad's going to return for Season 3 or Season 4? I feel like if they're going to release who his dad is, if for any reason, it's going to be in the beginning of Season 3 with Miguel in the hospital. I feel like if anything was to happen, if his dad's still alive, that Carmen's going to reach out to the dad and try to let him know what happened to their son. I feel like if we're going to see his dad, it's going to be in the beginning of Season 3, or else we're not going to see him, I feel like. It also plays the whole role of, is his dad even important to the story? Some people speculate his dad's Terry Silver's. There's a lot of crazy stories on who Miguel's dad is. I'm not going to get into those because I don't really know where I stand on that. I could say his dad might play an important role to the show, just not actually been spoken about yet. But I don't know. How would you go about answering this question? Think about it. Like, who the hell is his dad? I mean, they've really not hinted too much at who his dad is at all. So it leaves open a lot of speculation to who his dad might actually be. I don't know. Maybe it's not important. Maybe it is. I guess if it is, we'll figure it out as we go. I don't know. There's a lot that's left open in this show. There's a lot of hidden clues that people have discovered over the years since the Season 1 release and Season 2, which I can't wait to do that video. But like I said, that one I gotta make sure that I'm crediting everybody that actually discovered these secrets, Easter eggs, and everything, because I don't want to talk about something and think that I found it, and I'm not the one that actually first found it. I feel like whoever did find it deserves the credit that's due. We are all content creators in this great community, and no one person should steal from another person or try to build something that's theirs when it's not. I feel like we should all acknowledge who came up with the ideas and make sure they're appropriate, I guess you'd say, tagging or whatever we need to do to make sure that their credit is given to who found the Easter eggs or discovered them. It's just the right thing to do, let's be honest. This question, ever since I read it, has been kind of, I don't know where I feel about it, because it's just, I'll read the question to you. There's one person we don't know nothing about her background, Amanda, which I've touched a little bit on that before. Now, what would you think, this would be crazy, what would you think if she has a brother that just so happens to be Terry Silver's or something along the lines of that? What do you think about that? I mean, the only way that would be possible and us not know about it would be that she just never mentioned the brother to Daniel for some odd reason. And then what if Daniel was to come home at one point in time and Amanda's is like, hey, meet my brother, and there's Terry Silver's. Or even Mike Barnes or someone along that lines. Like, what would you do if that's the case? That's an interesting ass question, and that it has me puzzled because I don't know. I don't think about Amanda too much because she's not really an important character to me. I don't really care for her as far as the way the show goes. Yeah, I understand she was a loving mom and she just didn't want her daughter to get hurt, and she wants more time with Daniel, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Now, if that's true, that's a mind blow, plot twist, whatever you want to call it. That's an insane theory. But if it's true, I don't even know what to say. I guess that's something that if it's true, we're going to have to wait and see. This question I've seen talked about a little bit. Do you think we'll ever see Dutch return? I'm going to say no. I don't think we'll see Dutch return. I don't feel he would play an important role in the show if he was to return. So if he does, I don't feel like it's going to be a very big meaning to the show, but I guess he could. And they could bring anybody they want back except for Miyagi, obviously. Sadly to say. Also leads to another very important question that I've been thinking about. What if the fisherman that Daniel talks to actually plays an important role to the show that we just don't know? That's something I want to debate in one of my Easter egg videos because I don't hear no one really talk about him. But there's certain things in there that I want to go into detail about because I feel like he plays an important role even though it's just that split little bitty scene. I feel like there's a lot that can be learned from that scene. Obviously, he shares wisdom that reminds him of Mr. Miyagi. What if that was Mr. Miyagi's son and we just didn't know it? Who's to say it's not? Some people even like to think that Chosen is Mr. Miyagi's son, and I don't know. That's another interesting question that I've seen asked, and if you look online, I've tried looking online to kind of figure out these questions, and I'll be honest, online has way too many different theories and questions that just lead into other questions, and it's kind of better to just touch base on these with their own opinion, and that's what I kind of do. I obviously study to see if I can find any definitive answers, but most of the time you're not going to find a definitive answer, and it's best to just kind of touch base in your own way and reality of thinking to kind of explain what you think, and that's what I'm doing. So, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think there's anybody else in the show that we're going to see that might lead to Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, maybe the cartoon in some way? Let me know down below. I really enjoy making these videos, and if you keep coming out with questions, I'm going to keep trying to answer them in the best abilities that I can, so keep it up. I love these questions. I love talking about the show itself, and this is just kind of a fun time to just sit back and get into the show. Talk about the show. Have questions between myself and you. Do you think Sam's going to visit Miguel in the hospital? If Carmen will allow it, yes. I can guarantee that Sam will go visit him. I feel like Tori will as well. I obviously feel like Daniel's going to. The only one I'm sure we're not going to see visit Miguel is Johnny. I don't see Carmen letting Johnny visit. And I feel like Carmen blames the whole damn thing on Johnny because Johnny was the original one that started teaching him. Which kind of made me mad with how Carmen acted, saying that Miguel never got into fights and shit. Bullshit. The very first episode, sorry for cussing. The very first episode, what happens? Miguel's in a fight. Yeah, he didn't start it. He didn't know how to defend himself, but he's still in a damn fight, nonetheless. So, that one's always kind of bothered me ever since the end of season 2 when she mentions it and blames it all on Johnny. It's like, no, you can't blame it all on Johnny. I don't know. And this is a question that I hope we get the answer to. Do you think Sam and Tori are going to fight in the All Valley Karate Tournament, or just in period in general again? That I feel like's got to happen. I feel like we have to see another revisit to the Sam-Tori fight, whether it be the middle of Season 3, the end of Season 3, beginning of Season 4. That's a fight that I'm sure they're going to have re-scripted again in some way, and I kind of feel like in the next time we see the fight, it's going to go different. I don't feel like it's going to be the same as in the school fight. Not to say that Sam's going to lose, but I feel like that's going to play out different. I don't know. What do you think? Do you want to see Sam and Tori fight again? And on that note, who do you want to see fight the most? I'm always going to say this. I want to see Johnny and Daniel have a real full-blown fight. Sparring, whatever it be. I want to see a full Daniel and Johnny fight. It's something that they have to do. It's got to happen. I want to see that more so than even Miguel and Robbie refighting. I just feel like that's something we have to see in some way. What do you think? Who do you want to see fight the most in Season 4, Season 3, whatever season, just in general? What fight do you want to see the most? Let me know down below, because I want to know what your opinions are on that. Also, back to the whole Tori thing, do you think we're going to see Tori's mom and dad show up in Season 3 or 4? I'm going to say yes. With all the hype and build-up with Tori, I feel like we're going to get a lot of answers to a lot of our questions that we've been asking, and I feel like that's one that we're going to get. Whether it's people we didn't think it was, whether it's people we think it is, I just feel like that's something they have to touch base on one way or another. What do you think? And when do you think we're going to see who her parents are? Let me know below. One of our last questions I wanted to get into is, do you think that Johnny's stepdad is going to die and leave everything to Johnny or Robbie? Eventually, yeah, I think so. I don't know that. Then again, I don't know. I guess it's going to depend on how the stepdad is, and obviously he's kind of an ass, so I don't know. But with the fact of Johnny paying him off and the things that he said to him come the end, maybe he has a change of heart. Who knows? I mean, it would lead to an interesting topic if a lot of things to talk about, obviously, if so. Because what if that's how they end Season 3 and Johnny becomes rich as hell, and moving into Season 4, that could lead open to a lot of possibilities, obviously. Hell, he might even have enough money to buy Cobra Kai from Silvers And then, boom, Johnny owns Cobra Kai. Bye-bye, Kreese. You know what I mean? There's a lot that could lead into. So, hopefully we get to see something like that. It would make a hell of a plot twist. And the creators obviously said the last episode and the last minute and a half of Season 3 is going to blow our mind leading up to Season 4. So, who knows what they have in store for us. Another thing that people are curious of is, do you think that something's going to happen to Daniel owning his house and dealership? I'd say no, but maybe. It's just going to depend on him and Amanda. If him and Amanda was to get a divorce, I could see her taking the dealership from him and the house. Main reason is because I feel like Daniel would still have Miyagi-Do and other things to pursue, and he owns other things given to him by Mr. Miyagi, including cars, the dojo. There's a lot that they could lead that to actually happen, unless to say. So maybe. There is big chances of that. I wouldn't hold high hopes to it, but I wouldn't rule it out either. Just like we don't know who all Chosen's related to and who Chosen's daughter or son might be if he has one. There's a lot of questions to kind of just sit here and debate and talk about. Thankfully, we got months before Season 3 comes, so that gives us plenty of time to make these videos, talk about plenty of subjects and debates along the lines. Like, for one, we don't know who Kreese's relatives might be, not in total. We don't know who Silver's all related to. There's so many possibilities that we don't have answers to just yet. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I will be making another video shortly to talk about a very interesting topic that Bonsai Kai Dojo just released a video on today. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Because I'm going to make a video about it as well. And I hope that it's true. Because if so, it's exciting ass news. As always, I want to say thank you. Shout out my mods, my subscribers, and of course, Bonsai Kai Dojo, Sensei and Guest Sensei. I hope y'all have a great one, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay badass.